Once Unreal launches your third-person template, you can begin to set up your working file. What I've found is that it's a little easier if you go to a two-screen setup for setting up your cutscene and working in Sequencer. You can do that by clicking on the down arrow in the upper left-hand corner of your viewport, going to Layouts, and selecting your two panes. By default, this is what you will be left with. You can go ahead and go to your perspective camera in the left panel, and you can activate the cinematic viewport in the right pane. Once you have that, you're not going to get your player controls down here until you establish your level sequence. Go ahead and name your file for your level sequence and go ahead and save that. And now you'll see your controls in the viewport along with your sequencer toolset. Down here, it's very easy to get started putting your cutscene together by creating your first camera. When you do that, it will automatically create your camera cuts switcher. You will need to depress the camera icon when you have multiple cameras in order to see the cuts from one camera to another. So let's go ahead and create your first camera. When you do that, you can see that you can use the pilot to go ahead and drive your camera and position that in your scene. Down here in the sequencer panel, you also can see that you have a transform channel so that you can set keys and animate your camera. Before we navigate from this location, I'm going to go ahead and set a keyframe and call that my first position. Notice that your keyframe is set in your time slider. Go ahead and navigate over and go ahead and drive my camera forward and down slightly. Call this my area that I'm going to be setting up my keyframes, or excuse me, my cutscene. Setting another keyframe in transform. Over time now, with two keyframes, I have an animation, and you can view that in this window. You can also see the camera animated in your cutscene window. Now that we have an animated camera, we want to make sure that that's loaded properly in the camera cuts. The name of your first camera is Cine Camera Actor. Notice that Cine Camera Actor is loaded in your scene. To see that in the viewport, click on and activate that camera icon. Go to the first frame, and then press play in your cinematic viewport. You see the animation that we created for the camera. Alright, to add a second camera, we simply go ahead and click on the camera icon to get another camera. Now I'm going to start my animation of my second camera when the first camera ends. So dragging my time slider over to that location, I'm going to go ahead and set my keyframe for my second camera. Let's see here. Transform. Go ahead and set that first keyframe. Now I can navigate to the location that I want that camera.